Hello friends, this is Shelley from Koala Knits and Knacks. Thank you for joining me. In this tutorial, we are going to make this beautiful rickrack dishcloth. Now I'm calling it a rickrack dishcloth because that little squiggly V-stitch section in there looks like rickrack to me. Now, if you are my age or older, or even a little bit younger, you might remember rickrack that our parents always used when they did sewing project. My mom always put little rickrack borders on everything. And that's what this reminds me of. So I'm calling it the rickrack dishcloth. I'm using Loops and Threads classic cotton yarn in the color iris and white. And I show you that a picture of that ball in just a second. But we're going to make the one with the white center together, but again, you can see that I've done the opposite colors as well in the second one. And then there's enough yarn in each ball that you could probably make one, maybe even 1.5 more. I'm not sure, but there's lots left. Thanks again for joining me. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and grab your 5mm crochet hook and your yarn, and let's get started on this beautiful rickrack dishcloth. All right, friends, we are going to take our two colors of choice. For me, it's Loops and Threads in the color iris and white. We're going to start with our white, and we're taking a 5mm crochet hook, and I'm going to do a slip knot around my finger, around again, crossing it over. I'm going to go under that first loop, pick up that second one, bring it through, and there's my slip knot on my hook. That's how I do it. I know there are many ways to do it, but that's how I do it. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to chain up 4. Yarn over, go through that loop on your hook. Yarn over, let's do it again. That's 2, 3, and 4. All right, so there we have four chains on our foundation row. And into that very first one that we did, we're going to now yarn over. We're going to do a double crochet. Into that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now don't leave your loop tight like that and then work your stitch. Bring it up, turn your hook and bring it up so that it's the same height as those other 2 that are already on your hook. You're going to yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. That's considered 1 double crochet. We're going to do it again. Yarn over, into that stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop, bring it up to the same height, go through 2, and go through 2. We've got 2 double crochets. We're going to take a stitch marker. Now, if you follow my channel, you know I use bobby pins all the time, but I don't want them to be in the way of my hand here as I knit. So we're going to go 1, 2 stitches back, and we're going to go into that first double crochet and put our stitch marker. We're actually going to be going into this 3rd chain here from this stitch, but if I have my stitch marker in my double crochet, then I can easily find this stitch. So that's why we're going to do that. So we're going to do 1, 2, and 13 more. We're going to have a total of 15 double crochets in this same stitch. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that knot's going to keep slipping down, but you can hold it. 8. If you pinch the knot and you pinch your work, you can hold it in place better. Okay, 9. And don't let it tangle around your table edge. Pull out some slack. I'm going to tighten this just a little bit. That's 9. 10. 11. Bring that one up. 12. Now, if you're watching this video and you say, oh, I don't know how to crochet, you're going too fast. This is not a teaching technique, a video on how to do each stitch. Although I am showing you in the beginning of each row, I'll go a little bit slower. But what I want you to do is go to my crochet playlist and I will teach you how to do this. Friends, you will learn it in no time flat and you'll be sailing. I'm going to count again because I was talking. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I need 1 more. 15. There we go. We've got 15 double crochets plus our chain 3. That equals 16. Now I'm going to take that yarn tail and I'm going to pull it. And there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this yarn leaving a little bit of a length so that you can sew it in. We're going to grab our second color, which is Iris, and into the top of that chain 3. So here we marked our first double crochet that we did, although it is the second because we're counting this as a double crochet. We're going to go into the top of that chain 3, right into it, just like this. We're going to drop this white one. I'm going to hold it with my finger. I'm going to grab the purple one. I'm going to hold that with my finger. Then I'm going to switch and hold them both with my third finger, just like that, just so they're tight. I'm going to yarn over, go through both loops. That's a slip stitch to join. There we go. Row 1 is complete. Taking our hook, we're going to yarn over, bring it through the loop, and we're going to do 3 chains. That's 3 right there. We can now remove that stitch marker. That chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. And now what we're going to do is we're going to double crochet in the next double crochet. That's this one right here. We'll tie up our ends in just a minute once we get this row done. We're partway through. So we've got our chain 3 that counts as a double crochet. We've double crocheted in the next double crochet, and then we're going to go into this very next stitch and we're going to make a corner, which means we're going to put 5 double crochets into that corner. That's 1. So into that same stitch, 2, 3, 4. Let me just adjust my ball here because it's getting pretty tight. And 1 more, 5 into that same stitch. Now we have our corner. So we've got our 2 here, our chain 3, and our double crochet. Then we have 5 in the that makes our corner. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into that very next stitch, which if you pull this apart, you'll see it. Don't miss it because it's right close to this double crochet that you just did. We're going to do 1 double crochet into that stitch, 1 into the next, and 1 into the next. So now we've got 3 double crochets after our corner. And into that very next stitch, we're going to put 5 double crochets to make our next corner. So 1, all into the same stitch, do 5, 2, and 3, 4, and 5. We want to continue the same patterning. So in the next 3, each of the next 3, we're going to do 1 double crochet. 1 in that stitch, 1 in the next, and 1 in the next. We're back to where we need to put a corner. Into that very next stitch, we're going to put 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I should have put my stitch marker in, but I'll show you how to find it. 5. We have that corner complete. You can see it's starting to square off. Now into the very next one, we're going to put 1 double crochet, and then again into the next one, 1 double crochet, and into the next one, 1 double crochet. Into that very next stitch, you're going to put 5 double crochets. So as you can see, we have 4 corners now, 1, 2, 3, and 4. But we have 3 single double crochets in between each corner. And if we look up here, here's where our corner starts. We have 1, and that chain 3 is the second one. So in this lonely little double crochet, we're going to put 1 more double crochet. Now it's balanced all off, and it's 3. Instead of joining at the top of this chain 3, we're going to now join into our first double crochet. So we're going to pull that chain 3 apart, and you can see where there's a little bar that goes across there. This is the second double crochet, and that's the one that we're actually going to go into. So we're going to slip stitch into there, drop our yarn. We're going to grab our white, give that a little snip, can't do it with my left hand. These, okay, give that a little snip. I'm going to hold that yarn tail with my second finger there. I'm going to grab this white yarn tail, do the same. Once I have my hand in position over the yarn here, I'm going to switch out with my third finger. I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to slip stitch to join. By going into that second double crochet, essentially, well, we're counting this one as one, but by going into the second one, it gives it just a little bit more stability. So from there, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. For row 3, right at the base of this chain 3, which is that essentially that second double crochet, we're going to put a double crochet. If we would have done our slip stitch to join to the chain 3 and then chain 3, this would have been the next stitch. But I like how it makes this closer together, so this is why I do it this way. So you can choose if you want to do your slip stitch into the top of your chain 3 and then double crochet into the next stitch, you can do that. But honestly, I feel that by doing it this way, you have a tighter seam here and you don't have a little gap and it looks a lot nicer. So we have our chain 3, and into the base of that same stitch, I'm doing a double crochet, and then I'm going to do another one into the next stitch. We're going to go until we get to the very middle stitch. If you take of this 5 cluster, if you look at your corner here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We want to double crochet till we get to that middle one. So here's the middle one, and off to the right, that's where your top of your stitch is, okay? It's not this one that's off to the left, it's the one that goes off to the right. So here is my middle stitch. I'm going to double crochet. I have one more before that, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to double crochet into that. And now that I'm at my corner, I want to put 5 double crochets into that next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then friends, don't miss this little one that could be hiding under that 5th double crochet. You're going to want to go into that one and you're going to put 1 single double crochet and then 1 double crochet in the next one. That's the second stitch. And we're going to do it over 7 stitches. This is 3. Next one is 4. So 1 double crochet in each of the next 7. This is 5 and 6 and 7, and that should take us to the middle of the cluster. So here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's the middle one. You're going to put 5 double crochets into that center one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 more is 5. We have to follow the same patterning as we did for this other one. So now we're going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 7. Make sure you don't miss this one here. We're going to go 1, and then this is 2, putting 1 in each stitch, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That should take us to the middle stitch on our next corner. Here, 1, 2, 3. There we go. You're going to put 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 more is 5. And again, we're going to do 7. We've got 3 of our corners done. 1 in that next stitch, 1 in the second stitch, 1 in the third stitch, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth, and 1 in the seventh. That should take you to your middle stitch of the 5. 1, 2, 3, there we go. And you're going to put 5 double crochets in that stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more, make 5. Let's pull up on that just to take a look. Now we know that we did a corner and then 7, a corner and then 7, a corner and then 7. We have this corner and we need to have 7. So if I take this, if I find where this corner started, which is right there, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 3 more to make 7. So into that next stitch, 1, into the next stitch, 1, and into that next stitch, 1. Now this looks like there's an extra stitch there, but it's not. It's just that we have to tie our yarn tails and snug this up. So I'm gonna turn that over. I'm going to tie my knot, get that nice and snug. Now I like to hide my tails as I go. I don't like to wait till the very end of a project. I'm going to tie this one off too. We could have done that when we finished that row, but that's okay. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to hide some of these tails before we move on to row 4. But I'm just going to show you here what we've got. We had 32 stitches in our second row, and in our third row we have 5, 10, 15, 20, and 7 in between. 7, 14, 21, 28, plus the 20 is 48 stitches is what you have in your third row. All right, friends, we have finished row 3, and now we need to go into the top of this chain 3 again. Okay, so there, when you pull the chain 3 away from your second double crochet, you see that little bar, and you're going to go into the top of that chain 3. It's to the right of that bar. And we're going to slip stitch to join with our purple. Just like so. I'm going to pull on that white one because it's a little loose there, and there's the purple one. Now what we're going to do is we're going to begin our V stitches. So we need to chain up 4. 1, 2, 3 counts as our first double crochet. And then we need to do one more for a chain 1. So this acts as a double crochet and a chain 1 when we chain up 4, and then into that same chain 3 space, we're going to do another double crochet. There is our first V stitch. You'll see it better in just a second when I do the next one. Then in the second crochet, double crochet, we're going to miss that one, miss the third one. So you're going to miss 2, skip the next 2, and into that third one, you're going to put a V stitch, which is a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. You're going to miss 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then into this very next one, which is the middle one of our 5. So if you look at your 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however you want to look at it, here's the middle one. And up in there, I told you how to find that top of that stitch. There it is. So I'm missing 1, 2, and into this corner, we're going to put double crochet. So, all into this same stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. This is all into that very top center, and that will help us get around the corner. Now we're going to miss 2, 1, 2, and into that third one, we're going to do a V stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. We're going to skip 2, 1, 2, into that next one, we're going to do a V stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip 2, 1, 2, into this next one, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now when you skip the next 2, that should position you to the middle of your 5, which is this one up here. I'm going to miss 1, 2, that's the middle one. I'm going to do a corner, double crochet, chain one, double crochet. This is all in the same stitch. Chain one, and back into that stitch, another double crochet. So far, that's what it's looking like. We're going to turn our corner here. We're going to skip the next two, and we're going to do a V-stitch into the next one, double crochet, chain one, double crochet, skip two, 1, 2, and into the third, double crochet, chain one, double crochet, skip two, 1, 2, double crochet, chain one, double crochet, skip two, 1, 2. That should take you to the middle one here. If it doesn't, then take your work back and see where you made your mistake. Double crochet, chain one, double crochet, chain one, and double crochet. We're going to repeat that for one more side. And as you see here, we have 3 V-stitches in between each corner. And here's another 3. Here's my corner. We're going to do it on this corner. Make our double crochet, chain one, double crochet, chain one, double crochet into the corner, middle stitch of this corner, and then I'll see you back. All right, so I just finished my 4th corner. Here we go. We have 1 V-stitch, second V-stitch, then a corner. 1, 2, 3, and a corner. 1, 2, 3, and a corner. 1, 2, 3, and a corner. Now we need 3 here, right? Because we have our corner here. 1, 2. This will be our 3rd one. We're going to skip 2, and into that 3rd one, we're going to make a V-stitch. Double crochet, chain one, double crochet. Oh, I love making dishcloths, you guys. I honestly do. I think it's so much fun. So this is 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to grab our white and we're going to join with a slip stitch to the 3rd chain. Okay, so we did a chain 4 here, so that was it, considered a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So if you didn't put a stitch marker in, I don't know, I'm sorry, I have been forgetting to put my stitch markers in because I have crocheted for so many years. I know where to find it, and sometimes I forget, so my apologies, but I will show you. When you pull on your chain 3, you see that little bar there? That means this stitch here is the top of this double crochet. That means that this next one to the right is our chain 1, and then this next one is the chain 3. Or if you turn it around, you can go 1, 2, 3. And we're going to put our hook into the top of that chain 3. We're going to drop that purple. We're going to grab our white, and we're going to slip stitch to join, just like that. Then into that V-stitch, into the very center of that V-stitch, you're going to slip stitch. Put your hook in, yarn over, bring it through, and bring it through that loop on your hook. So you've just done 2 slip stitches, essentially. I hit all my ends already, that's why you don't see them hanging out there. But once you slip stitch into that V-stitch, you're going to chain 4. That's your double crochet, and the 4th one is your chain 1, and then you're going to double crochet back into that center. So now you've done a V-stitch into that first V-stitch, and that's what we're going to do all the way around. So into this V-stitch, you're going to do a V-stitch, double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Moving along, we have our corner here. So into that first V-stitch space, we're going to do a V-stitch. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now here's what you have to pay attention to. We're going to do a chain 1 between these 2 V-stitches. So now I'm going to go into there and I'm going to do a V-stitch. That's my corner. Let me take you down to the other side. We're going to go, here's my track here, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do a V-stitch in each one of those stitches. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And into the next one, double crochet. Ay, ay, ay. Double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. And then into the third, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. All right, friends, now we're back at a corner. We're going to do a V-stitch chain one, V-stitch, V-stitch, chain one, and V-stitch. Now we're back to our sides. We're going to do a V-stitch in each one of these. Then in this corner, V-stitch, chain one, V-stitch. And we're going to follow that along till we get to the end, and I'll meet you back. All right, friends, how did that go? Row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is almost done. And of course, we know these first two are the two before the corner, and then this last one here counts as the third. We're going to slip stitch into the top of that third chain with our hook. Do what we've been doing all along. Oops. I'm going to slip stitch to the purple, just like so. Then we're going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3 counts as our first double crochet. Into that V-stitch space, you're going to do a double crochet. Into the top of the double crochet here, which is right there, so you know it comes to the right. You're going to double crochet. You need 3 double crochets on every V-stitch. Okay, so here's our next branch from this V-stitch. Follow it up. You're going to double crochet at the top of that double crochet. You're going to double crochet into the center of that V-stitch. And you're going to double crochet into the second arm of that V-stitch. Here's our next one. So we're going to go into that double crochet, into the center, and then into that double crochet. So that's 3 more, 1 in each stitch. 1, then the center, then the second branch of that V-stitch. It's a double crochet. Now that brings us to the corner. I'm going to pull up on that just so you can see this. That brings us to our corner here, because here's the row before. Here was where our corner was, and then we did a V-stitch, chain 1, V-stitch. So we have done the first V-stitch that's attached to this row before. Here's our chain 1 space. Into that chain 1 space, you need to do 5 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then, friends, you need to pull this over just a little bit, because we need to go into the top of this double crochet. Sometimes it can get hidden, so if you have a desire, or if you think you're going to go into that space, then remember, oh no, I got to go into that first double crochet, and then go into that stitch, and we're going along the next side into the center and into the top of that second half of that V-stitch. We're going to do this all the way to the next corner. All right, into that stitch, into the center of the V-stitch, into the second stitch of that V-stitch, the second double crochet. And let's do it again. 1, and 2, and 3 double crochets for every V-stitch. Here's the next one. 1, and into the center, 2. I'm going to show you in 1 second, and 3. Pull up. So here's my corner. There's my chain 1 space. I did 5 double crochets. Then I did a double crochet into that stitch, a double crochet into the center, a double crochet into this double crochet. Then a double crochet into this one, a double crochet into the center, a double crochet into that leg. Then a double crochet into this leg, a double crochet into the center, a double crochet there. We've got a double crochet in this double crochet, 1 in the center, and 1 here. We are realizing that we are getting close. This leg here is this stitch, then the center, and then this leg here And then this is our chain 1 space that's in our corner. So we have to do 3 more double crochets before we get to our corner. 1, into the center, 2, and 3. That should take us to our chain 1 space, which it does right there. You're going to do 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Remembering that we got to uncover that stitch right there. See how that was almost covered up? But all you got to do is look at your V's and know that you have to do 3 stitches in that particular V. So you got to go to the leg of this one, which can be hidden. 1, and into the center, 2, and now the 3rd part of that V stitch. Continue that to your next corner. Coming up on the last one before the chain 1. Once you have this pattern memorized, you can whip off so many of these dishcloths, and they're so beautiful. This is 2 and 3, and then, I need to do 5, 4, and 5, and then the last V stitch there in that corner. See how hard that was to find? 1, and 2. I'm going to double check this in a second, see if I did this right. 3, let me do one more V stitch and then I'll assess it. 1, and into the center, 2, and the last leg of that V stitch. Pull up. Isn't that beautiful, you guys? It's absolutely gorgeous. If you need to know how many stitches are between these 5, so I've got my 5 there, then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then your 5. Okay, let's take it around, do your other corner, and finish off to the end. I'm going to go ahead and tie this first because it's loose because it's not tied. And I'm going to finish up that row and I'll meet you back when I get to the end. All right, so I'm coming around. I have one more V-stitch to complete. So that's in the first leg. I'm calling them legs. This is in the center. And then I have one more. There we go. I'm going to attach to the top of my chain 3. It's a little bit tight because I hid my ends already and I have one end going through there. I don't know why I put it there, but I did. It's okay. And we're going to cut this off. We're going to grab our white. We're going to do a slip stitch to join. Just like what we've been doing. Pull that down. We're going to do a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Counts as a double crochet. And then we're going to put 1 double crochet into every double crochet that we see. I see that I missed something here. Oh no, this is part of my, I was thinking I missed the leg of this, but it's my chain 3. I have to just tighten up that that yarn tail that's there because there's a little loose loop there. So kind of fooled me there for a second. But now our double crochets are easy to see all along the top there. We're going to double crochet into every double crochet and 5 into the corner one. So that's 1 double crochet. Let me get that looser so I can handle that better. And then into the next stitch. These are very easy to find. Now I hid my yarn tails without doing it with you, because if you are at a stage in your crocheting that you can actually make this dishcloth, you don't need me to show you how to hide ends. So there we go. I'm going to go all the way to the corner. Here's my 5 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the third one, right up there where my thumbnail is. So I have 1, 2, 3. In that fourth one, I'm going to put a double crochet right till I get to that third one of the 5. Okay, let me double check. This is 1, 2, and 3. We're going to put 5 double crochets in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more is 5. Don't forget to push this over a little bit so you see this stitch, because it gets hidden. We're going to go all the way across the row, 1 double crochet in each double crochet until we get to the next corner, and then in this third one we're going to put 5. Follow it down in the third one, 5, and do the same here, and then up the side. I'll meet you when you get to the end. Sweet friends, we're coming up to the end. We are going to double crochet in these end stitches that we see. Oops, don't sit on your yarn because then you can't pull it. And there we go. And one more. And then I don't want to double crochet into, or slip stitch into the third chain, because it's just a little feeble. You have 1 strand there. So I'm going to go into that second double crochet. So I'm breaking the crochet rules. You can follow along, or you can do it in the third chain. Okay, just like that. Yarn over, pull through, push your knot down. And there we go. It's so pretty. You're going to want to just stretch your stitches and so you can get it into a nice square. But let me show you. Let me hide that. I'm going to hide that tail later. Of course I am. But let me just measure this beautiful thing for you. Nine 9¾ Well, no, it's about 10. Let's see. When this is straightened right, it's 10 by 10. Let's turn it this way and measure it across. That was 9½, but that's just because it's not stretched out properly. We stretch it out properly, and you got a dishcloth that is 10 by 10. It is beautiful. Okay, friends, so there you go. We have our Rick Rack dishcloth, plus I made a second one, as you can see, in the opposite colors. They just pair so beautifully together. Why not make a solid one, add them as a set of 3, and give it as a beautiful gift. Now, there's enough yarn in each of these balls. I think I could probably get 2 more dishcloths. 1.5 for sure. So it's very, very cost effective. Thanks again for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Please don't forget to show your makes in my Facebook group, or add the link when you share in other Facebook groups. Take care, friends. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.